Philip Seymour Hoffman was a master of his craft, celebrated for his unforgettable performances in films like Capote, The Master, and Doubt. Widely regarded as one of the most talented actors of his generation, his sudden death on February 2nd, 2014, at the age of 46, sent shockwaves through the world. Found in his New York City apartment, the cause was later revealed to be a tragic combination of drug intoxication. Today we'll retrace his final hours, exploring the places he visited and the events leading up to his untimely death. On the morning of Saturday, February 1st, 2014, at 8 a.m, Philip left his apartment from this building here on Bethune Street. His apartment was on the 4th floor. He turned right and headed east towards his favourite coffee shop, the Chocolate Bar on 8th Avenue in Greenwich Village. This route, being the quickest walk, I suspect was the exact journey he took. Once he got to the end of the street, he crossed the crossing here and started heading northeast on 8th Avenue, following the sidewalk along here. Until he then reached the coffee shop, which is this building here. It's since closed down and another business has moved in, and we can actually go inside and look around. He ordered his usual drink, a quadruple espresso with a splash of milk over ice. The staff would report that he seemed happy and in high spirits. It's then thought that Hoffman returned home, but we can't say for sure where he was between the hours of 8:10 and 1:30 p.m. At 1:30 p.m, he took a phone call from his assistant. She would later report that he seemed fine during their conversation. At 2 p.m, as Hoffman was leaving his apartment building, he bumped into his ex-wife on the street. She later noticed that he appeared to be high during their brief encounter. Hoffman and his long-term girlfriend, Mimi, who he'd been with for 14 years, had split up just a few months prior. As a result, Hoffman moved into the building apartment by himself. Hoffman began using drugs again shortly before his separation, after he had been sober for 23 years, but relapsed around 2012. His return to substance use reportedly escalated after their breakup, as he struggled with the emotional toll of their separation and the challenges of living apart from his children. On the evening of his death, at 8 p.m, Hoffman then spoke to Mimi again on the phone and arranged to pick up his kids from her house at 9 a.m. the following day. She stated that he sounded high during their conversation. This would be the last time she ever heard from him. An hour later, at around 9 p.m, Hoffman is seen in a deli near his apartment with two unknown men. That's this building here. He walks over to the cash machine and withdraws $1,200 in separate transactions of $200. It's suspected these men were drug dealers supplying Hoffman with drugs. 4 individuals were arrested in connection with supplying Hoffman with drugs, although none of them were convicted of directly supplying him with the drugs that led to his death. Philip's struggles with addiction were well hidden. On January 30th, 3 days before he died, he had been seen drinking heavily at a bar in Atlanta, adjacent to the Hyatt Hotel, which is these conjoined buildings here. The only bar I can see on the map adjacent to the hotel is a bar called the Capital City Club, so I suspect it's this one here. It's reported he frequently disappeared to the bathroom, raising suspicions he was using cocaine. He later returned to New York on a flight, during which he was photographed passed out on an airport buggy and again on the plane. These were the last photos taken of him. At 10 p.m, an hour after making the cash withdrawals, he is seen at Automatic Slim's, a bar around the corner from his apartment. The bartender noted that he seemed troubled and did not engage in conversation. Philip ordered his usual, a cheeseburger and a non-alcoholic cranberry juice with soda. He left the bar around 10:45 p.m. This was the last time anybody ever saw Hoffman alive. By 9 a.m. the following day, February 2nd, 2014, Philip's children were waiting for him to collect them, but Mimi couldn't reach him. Worried, she asked a friend to check on him. The friend and Hoffman's assistant discovered Philip's body in his apartment. He was found with a needle and syringe still in his arm. An autopsy revealed he had heroin, benzodiazepines, cocaine, and amphetamines in his system. The toxic combination of these drugs is what caused his untimely death. With the needle still in his arm, it was determined the injection killed him almost instantly. Inside his apartment, investigators found 50 bags of heroin and 20 hypodermic needles. On February 5th, 3 days after his death, the lights on Broadway were dimmed in his honour, and a candlelit vigil was held outside the Labyrinth Theatre, where he was a long-time member and served as the company's artistic director. You can see that on his last day alive he didn't go far from home at all. He was well known and respected within his community. It was a shock and a tragedy to learn that one of the greatest actors of our time passed so soon.